we know the 2nd Congressional District is one of the targetest races in the country, in both parties, frankly, and it's a rematch with Republican Charlie Bass against Democrat Annie Kuster. As we saw in their joint appearances before the Greater Nashua Chamber of Commerce, both Kuster and Bass are aiming for the independent voters, because at the end of the day, both the base of the Republican Party for Bass and Democrats for Kuster are very much hardened and very motivated to support them. So independents are going to decide this race, as they did 2 years ago when they broke slightly for Charlie Bass at the end of the race. He won by 3,500 votes. The atmospherics are much more difficult for Bass this time around. One, the presidential race at the top with Barack Obama should run very strong in the 2nd Congressional District. I fully expect him to win in that state, and as such, he's going to have some support for Annie Kuster is going to have some support up above the ballot for her, which should help her. As well, you see in this race, Charlie Bass running very much almost like he's the challenger, and Kuster is the incumbent. And we've seen that in Republican races across the country. We've targeted Republicans, essentially trying to target, not only link Annie Kuster to the Obama agenda, but also to the Nancy Pelosi House of Representatives when she ran the House 2 years before, trying to label Kuster as a tax and spend liberal and someone who is out of the mainstream and who is a partisan Democrat. That's kind of the code words that Bass has used a number of times. And Kuster's code words, Tea Party Republican for Charlie Bass. So the challenge really for both Kuster and Bass is to appeal as bipartisan figures. And they're trying to do that in their own ways. Certainly Kuster talking about supporting Republican Senator Kelly Aydott's plan to prevent New Hampshire from having to collect sales taxes from sales that are made over the internet. Charlie Bass talking about his bipartisan budget that didn't go anywhere. Only 38 House and Republicans and Democrats supported it back in the spring. But that he believes would be a roadmap for the final budget for whoever's elected, Barack Obama or Mitt Romney. That it includes raising revenue through tax reform and also includes significant spending cuts to reduce the deficit. So this race really will be won by who's more credible, who's more bipartisan, who can work better with the other side, because that's what independents, they're fiscally conservative in the 2nd District, they're socially moderate, and Bass is a social moderate since he supports abortion rights, and they want something done about the debt and the deficit. So that's what you're going to hear now for the next 6 weeks from both Kuster and Bass. It should be a fascinating race here in New Hampshire.